Everyone, it is time for a new reading vlog, and today I'm going to be doing my first vlog for the Clear Your Shit Readathon. So this is a readathon hosted by Andy and Art, and of course they're going to be linked down below along with the Twitter account for the readathon. This is a super exciting readathon that I've been looking forward to all year, pretty much. And it's basically 2 months long, so it starts in November and ends on, I think, December 27th or something. And it's just all about clearing your shelves and, going through your physical TBR, and there are prompts and everything. There aren't really any rules, only kind of like reading books that are on your TBR and trying not to buy new books. I absolutely love this readathon, and I didn't manage to fully participate last year, and so I'm determined to participate a lot and make a lot of videos for it. And the way that it works is just so much fun, and there are all these like characters, and the way it's made and all the graphics is just absolutely wonderful. I love it so much, so you should definitely check out the readathon's Twitter, and I think they have Instagram now as well, but I don't really use Instagram, so I'm not entirely sure, but it's all going to be linked down below. So I'm going to stop rambling and let's just get straight into the vlog.
If I'm overthinking, I'm really trying, so I should stop it. So hard on myself, it's true. Pick apart the things I do. I've been in hiding, backsliding, keep rewinding, pulling the thread through.
I have some updates and I am really excited. So the first book that I started that I want to talk to you about is In Deeper Waters by F.T. Lukens. So this is a book that I got, I think, in August, and I really wanted to read this during the summer because, it has like a sea, water setting, and that just screams summer to me, but I just didn't manage to get to it, and I'm really excited to read it. I don't know, I feel like I'm in the mood. I have been struggling with fantasy a lot, but I do feel like in the past month I have had this awakening where I feel like I finally figured out what kinds of fantasy books work for me. I just had a feeling that this one would be really fun and quick to read and potentially something that would work for me, and so far I think that is going to be the case. So in this book we follow Tao, who is a prince, and he's supposed to go on this like coming of age tour, and he isn't really excited about it because he basically has a magic that is forbidden. No one can know about it, and if people found out about it, the kingdom could just like fall apart. The peace could be disrupted, all that kind of stuff. And so along the way they rescue this prisoner, Athlin, and things go on from there. This is like a pirate journey type story with, definitely, I think, focused on the characters and the romance that develops between them, which again, that is something that does work for me in fantasy when it's just like super focused on the characters, and I do think I'm gonna love the romance in here, so I'm really excited about it. I don't know if I said that I got to page 104, and this is pretty much exactly 300 pages, so that's another thing that I very much like, which is that it's not a long book. So short standalone fantasy books are the best thing ever for me. Going to just tell you about the other book that I want to read, I think called Find Your Own Way by Eric Smith. I really hope I remembered the title right. So I just saw it on Twitter yesterday and I was like, oh my god, that is so beautiful. I was so captivated by the cover. I love YA contemporary books, and I feel like I just really need like an easy, super exciting, quick read. And it just looks so good. It is just basically two like rivals who have known each other for a long time getting snowed in, and like people are saying that it's super cozy and fun, and I absolutely love any kind of forced proximity and like snowed in type thing. And since it's slowly, I feel like gonna be winter soon and I'm gonna be like thinking about Christmas, I really want to read books like this, so I'm just super excited for it. It is on Scribd, so I saved it as an audiobook, and I'm just super fucking excited to get to it. I just finished In Deeper Waters, and I really enjoyed it. It was just a really fun time, and it was really easy to read and engaging, and I really liked the main characters and the romance, which is just, like all that I need. So it was really nice because I've been really struggling with the past few fantasy books I've been reading, and I do think that I'm finally learning my taste more in fantasy, which is really helpful so that I can, make sure to just read books that I think will work for me as opposed to books that like everyone's talking about. But this was definitely a fantasy that worked for me more than not. It is only 300 pages. It's a standalone, which I just love to see. It's really fast paced and there's, like a fun journey. The romance is amazing. And I also love anything to do with like royals in fantasy. And so again, we have our main character who's a prince, and so it was just a really fun time, and I'm really happy that I read it. And the main reason why I wanted to do the update now is that I want to talk to you about You Can Go Your Own Way by Eric Smith. So I did start this book, and I actually was going to read this yesterday. I really wanted to read it and finish it even before In Deeper Waters, but then I realized that I didn't update you about it, and I didn't want to finish it without talking to you about it at least once. And so I ended up just deciding to read In Deeper Waters instead, because I did talk to you about it more, a little bit at least. I'm not really sure now that I think about it. I am loving this so much. Oh my gosh, the second I saw the cover, I was like, I need to read this. It's gonna be so good. And it is really so fucking good. So it is about our two main characters, Adam and Whitney, and they used to be best friends, and then some things happened, and they stopped talking, they drifted apart, and Whitney started becoming friends with just like kind of like some toxic people who just kind of really sucked. And so then Adam no longer felt welcome in Whitney's life, and just he felt kind of weird about all of that. And so they stopped talking for a really long time and just kind of became rivals. And Adam's family has a pinball arcade, and Whitney's dad has this like business of gaming cafes, and he wants to buy the arcade, of course. It is basically friends to rivals to lovers, and I feel like that's super fun. I really like that, and I know a lot of people like that trope, so if you do, you should definitely check it out. And it's just so fast-paced, and I'm so invested in the characters. I'm having so much fun reading it. I got halfway through already, and I love it. Like, I really love YA contemporary. Like, not every single one works for me, obviously, but when it's good, I have such a good time. And this is something in my taste that I'm really happy hasn't changed.
Trying to find the faith I knew. Always thought that it would just feel right. I've been looking out for signs. I'm scared that I'm running out of time. Trying to tell myself I'm fine. I'm waking up and I can't let go. I'm in my head, but I can't say no. Hate that I do this all the time.
I need to give you quite a bit of updates. So let's talk about everything. So I did finish You Can Go Your Own Way by Eric Smith, and absolutely loved it. Like I told you, I don't really have any new thoughts. It was just so much fun and just so quick to read and easy to read, and I was so invested, and I loved it. And the romance in it was so good, and the vibes were so good. I think it's the perfect book to read like during the winter, or just like any cold gloomy days or anything like that. I think it's absolutely perfect for that. I think you can kind of tell in the cover already. So we have friends to rivals to lovers. There's an aspect of being snowed in, and just like family businesses and like the setting of that. And I don't know if I mentioned that it deals with toxic friendships as well. And I definitely absolutely love when there are themes of friendship in books, and like obviously toxic friendships isn't something that's fun to read about, but I think it's really important, and it's always just like really nice to see it dealt with. And I think that it could really help some people see that, you know, maybe they don't have the best kind of friends and that they deserve to have people who love them for who they are and just like are really great friends. And so I just absolutely loved this. So I'm so happy that I read that. The next book that I started, that I'm the furthest in out of the ones that I've started, is Baking Me Crazy by Carla Sorensen. This is an adult romance that I recently found out about, and I have it on audio, on Scribd, and it's also on Kindle Unlimited. And this is a best friends to lovers romance, which you know I'm a sucker for, and I feel like I haven't read one in a while, and it's just so good. So I am having a lot of fun with this one. It's again just super easy to get into and quick to read and really fun. I don't think it's gonna be like a new favorite and absolutely incredible, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. So honestly, that's all that I need right now. And I think it only works for one prompt. But the one it works for is a book recommended to you. So it's not like directly recommended to me, but I heard Chandler from Chandler Ainsley talk about it like I think last week or so. I don't know. She recommended this book and she really liked it, and so that's how I directly found out about it. So I think it works perfectly for that prompt, and it might be the only thing, but that's fine. And the next book that I started is also another adult romance, so I don't typically like to read the same genre at the same time, but I don't know, I feel like it just kind of happened, and I feel like it's fine, like they are really separate in my head. And so that is The Vow by D. Rose. So this is actually another book recommended to me indirectly, but one of my friends, Sel from the Book Voyagers, has talked about it multiple times on Twitter, and I've heard her talk about it multiple times, and I've been wanting to read it for months. And so it's perfect for just me trying to read books that I've been wanting to read for a long time for the readathon, you know? And so this is a marriage of convenience romance novella, and I just absolutely adore marriage of convenience tropes. The heroine basically is struggling financially, and she doesn't really have anywhere to live because her best friend is moving out and getting married. And then the hero, he is an actor, and there's this big like scandal that's happening, and it would help him if he got married or just was seen in a stable relationship. And so they end up having a marriage of convenience. I know that Sil has said that it's like really low on angst and just super fun. I am here for all the comfort reads. So I'm super excited for this, and I think that there's a high chance I'm gonna finish both of these books today. I do think that since it's Sunday, I am trying to like relax a bit more on weekends as opposed to trying to work, which like reading is of course relaxing, but like if I'm filming it and stuff, it's not as relaxing as it could be. So I think I just want to like watch some shows or movies or whatever and read. I am in a strong reading mood, but either way, it's gonna be a nice, chill, relaxing Sunday. I finished reading The Vow by D. Rose, and it was a really fun time. It was just a really sweet, fun, super easy to read, a low on angst story. I did feel like the romance developed a little bit too quickly. Definitely felt a little bit insta-lovey, so if you don't like that, then you might not like it. But I don't really mind it, and the two main characters were really cute together, and I was reading for them, and it was just a super fun time. And again, I don't know if I mentioned that it's on Kindle Unlimited, so if it sounds good to you, I do recommend it. So that is like the only thing that I finished since I last talked to you. But one thing that I just think is kind of funny that happened that I wanted to share with you is that, again, I'm just on this like YA contemporary kick, and so I was looking through what books I had on my Goodreads TBR that I could read right now, and I ran into I Wanna Be Where You Are by Christina Forrest. This book looks super cute, it has great reviews, it sounds super nice. The first line on Goodreads says, a debut young adult rom-com about an African-American ballerina who finds love on the road to an audition. So I don't know, that sounds super fun. So I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna read it. It does have kind of like a summery color, I feel like, but I was just like, I don't care. But yesterday I was going through Goodreads. I was like, I remember this one book I know exactly what the cover looks like, but I could not figure out the title for the life of me. I literally like scrolled through all the pages on my Goodreads TBR, which is a fuck ton, and I didn't find it, and I was so frustrated. I was like, how am I supposed to find the book? And it is by the same author. It is by Christina Forrest, which means I was just like, you know, looking at the book, and then I saw the cover under, like, you know, on the side, whatever, and I am so happy. And I did have it on my Goodreads TBR, so I don't know where it went and why I couldn't find it, but either way, it is now found, and it's called Now That I Found You, which is actually really funny because I just found it. So I am so happy, and I do think I'm gonna read this first. I still think I'm gonna read the other book at some point super soon anyways, especially if I'm gonna love this one. But I just feel like this kind of has, you know, like the fall orange yellow colors in the cover, and so I feel like for some reason that makes me want to pick it up a little bit more, and also because I was looking for it so desperately. I'm gonna read this on audio, and I'm just super excited. But I do still need to finish the Baking Me Crazy audiobook. So I did make some progress with that, but I haven't finished it yet, so I do think I might do that before going to sleep. I'm actually going out tomorrow. I'm gonna go see Eternals, which I am so fucking excited for. I've been dying to go see it, and I'm just so impatient. It came out on Thursday, but we didn't want to go immediately so that there weren't a lot of people in the movie theater. But we're going tomorrow, and I am so excited. Like, I literally, like, I'm always excited for Marvel movies. I am a sucker for Marvel. I love them, you know, and it's always exciting to go watch a Marvel movie, but this one, I just have such a strong feeling is gonna be one of my new favorites, and it's the one from the new phase that I'm basically the most excited for, that I think is gonna be like the best for me, and like all the actors in it, I love them, and like I've heard such great things about it as well.
Don't wanna focus another moment on the things that I can't control. I need to find some peace of mind tonight.
Hi everyone, so it is the next day now. I have some updates, not a lot of reading updates, but like I told you yesterday, I went out and I watched Eternals, and I absolutely loved it. I'm so happy. It's like I knew I would love it, and every time I have that feeling, like that really strong feeling about any kind of art, I am usually right. And but still, you know, there's nothing like actually experiencing it, and it was just so good. The found family vibes and the characters and the diversity and everything. I don't know, I just thought it was amazing, and I just had so much fun with it. I don't know who my favorite character is just yet, but I love them so much. Like, most of them were just iconic, and it was just so fucking good. So I think that's all I'm gonna say for now. If I have some other thoughts I want to share, I'm gonna talk about that later. Yes, and I also got bubble tea. I actually didn't get any boba today, but it's passion fruit tea. I have fallen in love with it, and I'm really excited to drink it. Another thing that is honestly kind of like funny to me a little bit is I got 2 books today. And so, you know, like sharing a haul in the Clear Your Shit Readathon vlog is, you know, like rebellion, just pure rebellion, and I'm not regretting it with a single drop of my being. I am so fucking excited, and I have good reason, okay? You know, my hand slipped and I accidentally bought them, but they are 2 books that I've been dying to get, and I did not even dream of the bookstore having them, but I actually did consider it before, but I was like, no, I doubt it, and I'm gonna explain it when I show you what the books are. So the 2 books that I got are People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry and however this is supposed to be pronounced. I don't know if it's Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. So this is a book that came out this spring or something, and I heard so many people talk about it. I just knew that this would be a book that I would love, and one of my friends talked to me about it, and she said that it has a lot in common with my book that I wrote, and that it just would be something that I would absolutely love. And she loved it, and and just like based on literally everyone's opinions on this, I knew I would fall in love with this because it's a best friends to lovers romance. I am so excited that, like, oh my god, I lost my shit when I tell you I stopped breathing when I saw both of these books at the bookstore. Like, I still can't believe it. I'm in shock, and I know it sounds dramatic, but the thing that I'm shocked about is with this, the entire time, I'm like, first of all, they barely have any romance whatsoever at the bookstores where I live. Something like a romance section doesn't exist. There's just fiction, and most of it has literary fiction with some random shit thrown into it. Literally, when Beach Read came out, which in case you didn't know is like the first book in this series by this author, it was just super popular. Everyone was talking about it, and I don't even think it was just like my circle on BookTube. I think it was literally just everyone, and it was a New York Times bestseller. #1. I was like, they might actually have it at the bookstore because it's so popular. Never seen it ever, not even once, not even a single bookstore. And so I didn't even dream of them having this book. Honestly, the way that they deliver books to like international places that aren't like England, Canada and the US is the most random thing in the universe. Either way, I'm so beyond happy that I could get this. And then with this book, I have been thinking about it actively lately because it just came out like 2 weeks ago or something. I don't know when exactly. And I'm so excited for it. And I think this is literally the UK edition and this is the US edition. Like, make it make sense. Whatever. Anyways. And I was thinking about this, I'm not kidding, like 2 days ago because I was sorting through my Amazon wish list and I had this on the wish list. The only reason why I didn't have this is because a friend of mine, the one that recommended it to me, wanted to get it for me. That was a really long and excited explanation of why I had to get these books. And I'm kind of now tempted to drop everything and read this. Yeah, so I need to think about it. I also just got home. I should eat dinner and like chill for a bit. So whatever. Yeah, I don't know how much reading I'm gonna get done tonight, but either way, I'm gonna see you soon in a second. Hi everyone, so it is time for an update and kind of like a wrap up to this video. First we need to address the elephant in the room. I have new hair and it's crazy to me how different, well, actually it doesn't look that different on camera, but the hair looks exceptionally dark and I look exceptionally pale. I honestly kind of look like Snow White right now. And yes, so it's basically this like dark purple color and it's my constant frustration. Every time I dye my hair, it looks different. On camera, it looks different in every kind of lighting and I feel like it almost never looks accurate. And like right now, it is showing really dark, but every single time after I wash it, even just for the first time, after that for a while, it stays kind of like a slightly lighter color, but I think I like it a lot. I kind of wanted 2 different kinds of things. One of this was this, just like a really dark purple that almost looks just like a normal dark blackish color, or like a slightly lighter purple that is just more like intense and bright and more purple. So I do think it's gonna get to that when it fades, hopefully. I think I like it a lot. I can't wait to like style it and curl it, but she puts a lot of product in it when she gets it done, and so I don't want to curl it until I wash it, But anyways, now let's talk about books. I have read quite a lot of books in this vlog, but it just like once again, any of my plans, any of like things that I wanted to read, I feel like I didn't get to, and I only read one physical book, but it's fine. I think I need to stop putting so much pressure on myself to read physical books, because I just think that like me telling myself constantly that I need to read them makes me want to read them less, and so I need to just calm down about that. And if I can't get into the space of reading physical books, then I'm just not going to read them for a while, and that's fine. So I think once I do that, I'm actually going to want to do that more. But I have finished and read a few things that I want to talk to you about. So the first book that I finished is one that I mentioned to you, and that is Now That I've Found You by Christina Forrest. And oh my god, I loved it so much. I had so much fun with it. I flew through it. It was so good, and I am so happy that I found it and that I could read it, and it was just incredible. And this book is a story about Evie, who is, I don't actually know her age. It is labeled as young adult, but both of our main characters kind of feel like young adults in the sense of like either 18, 19, or 20. And so, like, once again, I've mentioned this before, it just kind of reads as old young adult, and that is my favorite kind of young adult, because as an adult who's 22, I feel like that is just the type of stories that resonate the most with me. Like, you know, it makes sense. And basically Evie is an actress, and she's kind of like a rising star, and her grandma was a super famous actress, and she basically gets into this like kind of scandal that kind of means that she's probably gonna lose the main role that she wants to play. And so after that, she goes to her grandmother's house, who lives like, you know, on the East Coast, and she wants to ask her for help and all of that. And then her grandma kind of ends up running away. And then there's this boy, Milo, living at her grandma's place, and he's a musician, and the two of them basically decide that like they're gonna try to find Evie's grandma together. And yeah, so the romance is super cute. I felt like Evie's character development was super good, and just like it's just, you know, about her learning to love herself and let herself love and finding herself and all of that. And I just absolutely loved it. And I recently realized that I adore stories about celebrities, especially actors. And so all of that, like the aspects of that were so much fun. And they weren't strong in the sense of like Evie wasn't acting in anything actively. That wasn't like a part of the book, but just the vibes and like events and that kind of thing was a part of it, and I just live for that. So if you have any recommendations, please let me know, whether it's YA or adult. Absolutely adored this. I gave it 5 stars. I wasn't sure if it wasn't like a 4.5 for a second. I felt like maybe the conflict was a little bit too drawn out and painful and frustrating, but I just realized that like it just kind of made sense, and I just loved the entire story so fucking much, and I'm so happy, and I really feel like I'm rediscovering my love for YA contemporary, and it just that makes me love it even more, and it just feels really special. And so I absolutely cannot wait to read the other book by Christina Forrest, and I think I'm going to be doing that super soon, like probably not immediately because I don't want the stories to mix together, but I'm ready. Like within a week, I think I'm going to read it. So absolutely can't wait. So happy about this. Just yes. Then another thing that I want to talk about is that there is a prompt. I feel like, I don't know if I'm in focus. There's a prompt that's something like the smallest book on your TBR. And I was looking around, and what I decided works best for this are these two poetry collections. So I have selected poems of Emily Dickinson and love poems. And so I read a tiny bit of this one, not a lot, but I really want to pick it up and finish it within, preferably, like I would love to finish it by the end of November, but just like by the end of the year, I would love to read both of these, because like with both of them I read a tiny bit, and obviously it's like it's poetry and it's classical poetry, so I want to make sure to take my time with it, paying attention to the words, you know? So it's not like books that I want to finish immediately, but I just want to read these for this prompt because I've had them for ages, and I kept telling myself that like I would read them over time, but it never happened. And so I want to read both of these. And there's also a new season of the show Dickinson, which I absolutely love, and I need to catch up on like season 2 and watch the entire season 3, and I'm super excited. And so I think I want to like read it as I watch the show, like not at the same time probably, you know, but like you know what I mean. So definitely gonna do that, and I'm gonna keep you posted. And yes, and then the last thing that I want to update you on is actually another poetry book, and I forgot the name of it. There's some like fearsome things in it, like I don't know. But I'm gonna put it up on the screen, and it is by Amanda Lovelace. It's their newest poetry collection, and I have pretty much read every single one, I think. Every single poetry collection by Amanda, and I've talked about her before, but I'm gonna say quickly, you know, what I thought about this book. And Amanda's poems in general, like the style doesn't fully work for me because it's just that kind of like straightforward, often like free verse type of poetry, and that's not my favorite. But I do feel like a lot of Amanda's poems like resonate with me, so it's not like my perfect type of poetry, but when I'm in the right mood and you know, I can really enjoy it. And so this one I didn't fully love, unfortunately. I think I ended up giving it 3 stars. It definitely wasn't my favorite. And I do think one thing that ruined it for me a little bit is I listened to it on audio, and I was super excited because Amanda narrates it, and I absolutely love when authors narrate their books. And I feel like with poetry, it's like it makes it even more impactful and emotional and all of that. And so I was super excited, but there's this thing, at least in the audiobook version that I listened to, but I'm sure it's like, I guess it's the same everywhere, I don't know. And I listened to it on script, and in the version that like Amanda basically commented on some of the poems and explained their meaning, and I felt like that just completely disrupted the flow for me. It really took me out of like the space of my brain that's paying attention to the poems, and it just felt super weird. So I'm not really sure if I recommend the audiobook because of this, but I do think that eventually I am maybe gonna get a copy of the book and read it physically, because again, like, it doesn't really matter to me sometimes that like all the poems don't resonate with me, because like a collection of poetry is honestly always worth the read for me, and there's almost always at least like 1 or 2 or 3 poems that work for me even if the whole thing doesn't, and that just kind of makes it worth it for me, if that makes any sense. And yeah, so that is gonna be it. I feel like this vlog ended up being a little bit more chaotic than I wanted. I've also been filming it for way too long, and so I needed to do the wrap up now. But I hope you still enjoyed it, and let me know if you're participating in the readathon and like what are you reading. So thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far in the video, leave a knife emoji down below. I don't know why. I just thought of it, and yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'm gonna see you soon in another video. Bye!